Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that many of us have noticed but might not think about too deeply: iPad kids. You know the ones. Children who seem to always have an iPad or tablet in their hands, whether they're in a restaurant, the car, or at home. But what does this mean for their childhood? How different is it compared to those of us who grew up before the iPad era? Let's explore that. So first, let's set the scene. iPads were released in 2010, and since then they've become a go-to device for many families. For a lot of kids today, an iPad is almost like an extension of themselves. They use it for everything: watching YouTube, playing games, learning with apps, and even communicating with friends. This is a big shift from just a couple of decades ago, where toys, TV, and going outside were the main activities. But now, with a tablet in their hands, a child has access to a limitless digital world from a very young age. It's kind of crazy to think about, right? Let's be fair here. iPads and technology aren't all bad for kids. In fact, they offer some incredible benefits. Kids today can learn so much faster than we could with just a couple of clicks. They have access to interactive educational tools, videos, and games that teach everything from math to languages. Plus, it can be a lifesaver for parents. When you're out at a restaurant or running errands, giving your kid an iPad can be a quick way to keep them occupied. So it's no wonder that iPads are such a huge part of modern parenting. But here's where things get tricky. With so much time spent on screens, what happens to the traditional childhood experiences? You know, playing outside with friends, building forts, or even just being bored and coming up with creative ways to entertain yourself. Studies have shown that too much screen time can impact a child's social skills, attention span, and even physical health. And it's not just about the time spent, it's the kind of content kids are consuming. If a child spends hours watching mindless content or playing addictive games, how does that shape their development? Now, for those of us who grew up before iPads, our childhoods looked very different. We relied on our imagination, explored the world around us, and had to figure out how to stay entertained without a screen in front of us. Whether it was playing sports, riding bikes, or hanging out at the park, we were constantly interacting with the real world. But that's not to say one childhood is necessarily better than the other. It's just different. Older generations didn't have the constant stream of information and stimulation that kids have today, and that shaped us in ways we may not even realize. So, what does this mean for the future? The iPad kid generation is growing up in a completely digital world. They're likely to be more tech-savvy and adapt to technological changes faster than any generation before them. But at the same time, we have to ask ourselves how this will affect their ability to relate to the physical world and to each other. Will they miss out on those valuable experiences of unstructured play, face-to-face socialization, or just the joy of being disconnected for a while? In the end, every generation is shaped by the world they grow up in, and today's kids are no different. iPads are just a part of it, but it's up to us, the parents, teachers, and older siblings, to help them find a balance between the digital and the real world. Thanks for tuning in. What do you think about iPad kids? How do you think their childhoods differ from yours? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. See you next time.